There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination, at the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Eric McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. I got a follow back from Peter Cimetti from Alterna, which is awesome.
Already with
the weather's actually nice here today, so I went and chilled in the woods for like an hour and a half after work before I came home. So I actually had a pretty decent day.
He's actually still calling in from the woods. He just took his tin cannon string with him.
I had to add a couple 100 yards of string first, but...
What fishing line it's for.
Yeah, exactly.
So, pretty interesting results in the poll today. It looks like everyone essentially picked a tie. So we had Superman, I believe, at 39%, and The Shadow at 38%. So I was like, fuck it, let's just do an hour of both. So now the real question is, what do we start with?
Well, I have a feeling that our listeners really just made that a tie so we would have SS for the show. Right? That's something they would do.
Yeah, Sweetie Squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody Sausage Squad. I don't know.
Novel, bro, you're late and gay. We were on time, man. Just for you.
We were on time, and we started a little early. We didn't even let the intro music run the whole 5 minutes. We saw the people were here, and we were like, I'm not going to make them sit through this. That'd be bullshit.
Yeah, you guys are fantastic popping in so quick for today's show.
No joke. I think they just want to see me name more Pokemon naughty things.
Probably. I mean, don't we all?
Yeah, probably.
And yes, Cartoon was chilling in the woods. I had a hammock. Just relaxed for a bit.
Yeah. That's key where I come from for smoking the weed.
Yeah, but I don't smoke weed. So
smoke the weed.
Oh, smoke the weed. Nah, I didn't have any marijuana cigarettes.
You don't snort the marijuana cigarettes?
No.
Well.
I tried ejecting one once, but it just kind of like broke.
Yeah, well, that happens. So, anyway, folks, do we want The Shadow or do we want Superman? Because we can go either way tonight. I've got a full 6-part series of Superman. Takes up about an hour. We got about an hour of The Shadow. I don't want to start with The Shadow and then move to Superman. I don't want to break it up. So, if you don't say anything soon, I think we'll probably just start with the Shadow and move into the Superman for the second half of the show.
I don't know. They're not saying anything.
They're not saying anything. I think they trust me. I don't know. That'd be bad.
That's risky. That's risky, guys.
Super Shadow, fantastic. Fantastic cartoon. That is exactly what I expected you to say. So, we will be starting with The Shadow, which I will queue up right now. Tonight we have 2 episodes of The Shadow. Tenor and a Broken Voice. Super Shadow sounds good. Okay, I'll just play them both over each other so you can't understand what's going on. How's that? I'll play one of them forward and one of them backwards. VLC can do that.
There we go. And then we'll probably hear a message from the devil at that point, yeah? Like they said, if you played Led Zeppelin's album backwards,
that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point, Novel Bro. We should kick off with Superman and then move into The Shadow.
Well, he said move on to.
semantics. You know what? I'm not even gonna with you. Not today.
Well, sometimes when we have these arguments, we sound like an old married couple. Yeah. Somebody pointed that out last night.
Every time we have an argument. So, Superman series is a 6-parter. We have the Arctic Explorer, Alonzo Craig. So, here we go.
Ah, shit.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. And now, Superman, mighty visitor from another world, who came to Earth when the planet Krypton was destroyed by quakes and explosions. Superman, who can twist steel in his bare hands, leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who walks about among human beings as champion of the weak and the oppressed, disguised as Clark Kent, news reporter. As our story opens today, we find Kent in the private office of editor Perry White. Listen.
Kent, how would you like to take up the search for Captain Alonzo Craig?
Craig? The Arctic Explorer? Why, he's been missing for 3 years.
Look here. Now sit down and let me give you the whole story. Alonzo Craig was one of the most famous Arctic explorers in the world.
Yes, I guess everybody knows that.
Well, 3 years ago, he headed an expedition up into the islands north of Ellesmere Land. You know anything about that country, Kent?
No, not a thing, Chief.
It's very little explored. Just a maze of islands and ice fields and cliffs. The wildest rumors you ever heard.
What kind of rumors?
Well, most people don't believe them. Alonzo Craig made up his mind he'd prove them one way or the other.
But what kind of rumors?
Well, rumors that the islands north of Ellesmere Land are inhabited by Indians, or maybe Eskimos. Nobody seems to be exactly sure. But they're amazingly intelligent, as far as people can judge. Big, and tall, and strong, and they're white.
What?
Well, that's what the story is. A race of giant white men. But that isn't all, Kent. Tie your hat on good and tight and catch this. They are ruled by a single king, some kind of a witch doctor or medicine man, and that witch doctor never dies.
Oh, come on, Mr. White. Don't tell me you fall for stuff like that. Just isn't possible.
No, it isn't possible. But Alonzo Craig wasn't a fool, Kent.
Well, don't tell me he believed it.
He went up north to investigate. Traveled thousands of miles over desolate country just 3 years ago this week.
And what happened to him?
Nobody knows. That's why we sent Ray Martin, one of our reporters, up there after him. And old Professor Peters.
Peters? The museum man? Oh, say, I know him well. Well, did Martin report anything?
Not a word in the last month. Both Ray Martin and Professor Peters seem to have vanished in thin air, just like Alonzo Craig did.
You don't mean it.
Well, that's why you're going after them, Kent. You're going to look for Peters and Martin. And if humanly possible, you're going to find out what happened to Alonzo Craig. City room, White. Who? Who? Why, yes, certainly I know her. Send her upstairs. Tell the boy to bring her in when she gets here. Say, that's mighty queer. Almost uncanny. You'd never guess in a million years who's coming up.
All right, Mr. White, who is it?
Miss Paula Craig, Alonzo Craig's twin sister.
His sister? What does she want?
Well, that's what I'd like to know myself. She certainly can't have heard about Peters and Martin disappearing.
Well, while we're waiting, what about them? What makes you think they're missing?
Kent, they were supposed to keep in touch by shortwave radio with the base at Port Ormond. They did for a while. 4 weeks ago, the radio went dead.
Oh, well, that might not prove anything, Mr. White.
On the other hand, it might prove a good deal. Because yesterday I received an important message.
What was that?
Our man at Port Ormond telegraphed it down. It's common gossip among the Indians at the trading post that Martin and Peters have been lost.
Lost? Well, how would Indians know that?
Don't ask me, Kent. Apparently they do know something, and they won't tell. Come in. Oh, hello. Hello there, Miss Craig.
Oh, Mr. White, I hope I'm not bothering you. They said to come right in.
Why, certainly, by all means. Oh, may I present Mr. Kent, Mr. Clark Kent, Miss Paula Craig.
How do you do, Mr.
How do you
Craig?
do?
It's a funny thing you picked out today to come in, Miss Craig. Kent's on his way to Port Ormond in the north.
Mr. White, something's happened, and I don't know what to make of it.
Why, what is it?
You remember about the rings. I think I told you about them.
Well, you might tell Kent.
Mr. Kent, Alonzo and I were twins. When we were graduated from school, my father gave us both identical rings, carrying his initial and our mother's initial in a sort of seal on the back.
Well, the point is, Kent, that Captain Craig always wore his, and Miss Craig always wore hers. That is, she did until Ray Martin went north.
Exactly, Mr. White. When you sent your searching expedition north to find my brother, I gave Mr. Martin my ring to take with him. You see, I thought it might help him identify Alonzo.
I understand, Miss Craig. But you said something peculiar happened.
Yes, very peculiar. This morning, I received a small package in the mail. And when I opened it, well, look.
What? Why, that's one of the rings.
Oh, Miss Craig. Who sent you that?
Mr. Kent, it came down from Port Ormond by air. My brother's old navigator, Captain Walters, wrote that he bought it from an Indian. It's my brother's ring.
Why, that's amazing.
Great heavens. But all the time. Look, I never noticed it. Kent, your train leaves in 20 minutes.
My train? Oh, yes, it slipped my mind.
Miss Craig, now, I'm going to be terribly rude now, but I'll make amends some other time.
Well, Mr. White, I don't understand.
Well, now, look here. Kent has only 20 minutes to catch his train. Leave Captain Waller's letter in the ring here, and Kent will take the ring north with him. I'll call you once I get my bearings.
Oh, of course, Mr. White. I hope I haven't upset you.
Oh, fine. You're a real soldier, Miss Craig, a real soldier. And don't worry. I'll call you in a day or two.
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Kent, and good luck.
Goodbye, Miss Craig. And we'll find your brother for you.
Thank heavens. Kent, we'd better work fast.
I'll say so. Mr. White, I can't possibly catch a train in 20 minutes.
Forget it. I have to get her out. Now, Kent, look here. Look at this ring.
Well, what about it?
She hasn't heard about Martin and Peters being lost. She took it for granted that this was her brother's ring, that somehow it had come back from Alonzo Cragg.
What's the letter say?
Oh, forget the letter. Walters thought the same thing, and they're both wrong.
Mr. White, what do you mean?
Kent, this isn't Alonzo Cragg's ring.
What?
They're supposed to be identical, but they're not. I can tell by this scratch on the inside of the band here, see? I put that scratch there myself before Ray Martin took the ring.
Great Scott. You're not saying...
Kent, I am. This is the ring Paula Craig gave to Ray Martin. Now then, what's happened to Martin and Peters? And how under heaven did this ring get back to Port Ormond and into Captain Walter's hands?
Telegram, Mr. White.
Here, give it here. Kent, this is from Captain Walters, Ike Walters, up at Port Ormond.
Yes?
He was the one who took Alonzo Craig to Ellesmere Land. I told him you were coming.
What's he say?
Urge your man to use all speed. Time may be important. May know more when he gets here. Walters. Kent, what's going on up there?
Mr. White, I don't know. But I'm going to find out. Say, maybe I can catch that train after all.
Speeding through the upper air, red cape streaming in the wind, the man of steel soars over the Great Lakes, northward to Hudson Bay, and northward again to the tiny settlement of Port Ormond. And presently, on the deck of an icebreaker, buffeting her way through the fog and ice, Clark Kent, reporter, talks with the ship's master, Captain Walters.
Any idea where we are, Captain Walters? Mighty heavy fog out there.
Getting up there, Mr. Kent. Any time now, we'll be hitting right into Ellesmere Land. And when we get there, we take the dog sled.
Oh, plenty cold, all right. Say, don't you ever use your foghorn?
Not up here. Except now and again to tell if we're close to an iceberg. Sometimes the sound will bounce off.
Icebergs around here?
Oh, sure up. Mighty lucky if we don't run right into one. Didn't hear no echo that time.
Look here, Captain. Down at dinner, you started to tell me about Alonzo Cragg. What's all the mystery about?
Nobody knows, Mr. Kent. All of a sudden, he just up and lit out, with only an engine sled driver.
But why? Why would he do a thing like that?
Well, some of the men in his expedition said he heard about the Luck of the North, so he set out to find it.
The Luck of the North?
Yep.
What's that?
That's a treasure, Mr. Kent. Oh, that's what they say it is. Millions and millions of dollars, gold and precious stones. Land knows what not.
What? Up here?
Now, don't ask me if it's true. Don't ask me how it got here, if it is true. All I know is what they tell me.
But where is it? Who owns it?
Well, they say the Indians owned it. Some say it was always here, and some say it come from pirates and such a couple 100 years ago.
Do you believe it yourself?
Mr. Kent, I declare I don't know. I've seen some mighty queer things up here in the north. Hey, ain't it getting some colder all of a sudden?
Oh, I'd say so. Going through me like a knife. Well, the fog's thicker, too. Say, look here, Captain.
Yeah?
What about these Indians you were talking about?
Well, nobody knows much about them neither, Mr. Kent. They keep to themselves, and their old witch doctor backs them up. If you ask me, Alonzo Craig went after the luck of the North, and the Indians went after Craig.
All right, but what about Ray Martin and Professor Peters? Oh, and by the way, you never did tell me how you happened to find that ring.
Now, listen. You hear that echo? That means there's a berg right close by.
Yeah?
Iceberg, dead ahead!
Astern! Full speed astern! Hey, look. Off the starboard beam. Coming through the fog. Iceberg's closing in on us.
Captain Walters, what'll we do? Look!
I see it. I ain't blind. There ain't nothing we can do. Hey, look out. Stay where you are now, Kent. I got to work fast here. Hold her off. Put your helm down hard.
There, he's gone. They'll never see me in the fog. Great heavens, those bergs are all around us. I think it's time Superman went to work. Up, out, and away! Look at those bergs. They're bigger than mountains. Thousands of tons of solid ice. They're all around the ship. If I can't do something fast, she hasn't got a chance. Down, right into the water. Now then, got to shove this one out of the way. Force a passage for the boat. Good thing they can't see me in the fog. Now. No good. Not quick enough. The ice is closing in. It's crushing the boat. Sudden crushing danger in the Arctic ice fields. Can Superman force a path for the tiny vessel? Or has he met his match in the towering ice peaks of the northern seas? Tune in next time and follow the story.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
And now, Superman, mighty visitor from another world, who came to Earth when the planet Krypton was destroyed by quakes and explosions. Superman, who can twist steel in his bare hands, leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who walks about among human beings as champion of the weak and the oppressed, disguised as Clark Kent, news reporter. As our story opens today, we find Kent in the private office of editor Perry White. Listen.
Kent, how would you like to take up the search for Captain Alonzo Craig?
Craig? The Arctic explorer? Why, he's been missing for 3 years.
Look here.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, valiant fighter for truth and justice, faster than an airplane, stronger than a locomotive, who came from the planet Krypton to walk the earth disguised as mild Clark Kent, news reporter for the Daily Planet. Kent had arrived in the Arctic ice field, searching for a special expedition sent out by his newspaper, which was headed by Professor Peters and Ray Martin. Peters and Martin had vanished into the wilds of Ellesmere Land in an effort to find what had become of the famous explorer, Captain Alonzo Craig, missing for over 3 years, but still believed alive. When we last saw him, Kent had become Superman and had plunged into the sea to rescue the ship from surrounding icebergs. Barely in time, with superhuman strength, he thrust aside the towering tons of ice. He forced a path for the ship to the coast of Ellesmere Land. As our story continues today, some time has passed. Kent's expedition has established a base camp, and he and Captain Walters have taken a dog team out into the icy wastes, still heading north in an effort to pick up the trail of Peters and Martin. It is evening. The Arctic night has fallen, and Kent and Walters are discussing whether to remain where they are or strike back toward their base. Walter is gradually giving way to apprehension. Listen.
Whoa there! Whoa, you Crystal! Whoa! Now down!
What's the matter? What are we stopping for, Captain?
Mr. Kent, I don't know. I can't be sure. But I feel as if something was watching me, following close behind all the time and watching out there in the dark. Don't you feel that?
Well, since you mention it, I do.
You was asking me if I was afraid. I am afraid, Mr. Kent. I'm afraid of what may happen. Listen, that's Chico, the lead dog. And he's afraid, too. Look at him. He's standing right up in his harness. They hear things that we don't hear, Mr. Kent. Who's to say that they don't see things we don't see?
Stop it, Walters. Your nerve's gone. You'll have me seeing things and hearing things next. Now, look here. Back on the boat before we made shore, you started to tell me why you sent that telegraph message to Editor White about having to hurry.
What about it?
Well, what did you mean?
Well, I'd found that ring, hadn't I? The one you said Alonzo Craig's sister gave Martin.
Yes, I meant to ask you about that. Where did you get it?
An Injun brought it down to Port Ormond. But he'd never say where he got it.
Do you think he stole it?
Maybe so. But how? Martin hid it when he left Port Ormond for Ellesmere Land. I know that.
Oh, look, Walter, stop beating around the bush. Tell me what you really do think. Great Scott, man, this isn't time to keep things back.
All right, I will tell you. I think Alonzo Craig found out where that Injun treasure was, the Luck of the North. And I think that old witch doctor got him.
What? The head of the tribe? The one who never dies?
That's what they say.
Well, all right. What about Peters and Martin? Who got them?
I don't know. But Peters and Martin, they never should have come up here. The tribe hates white men. They've proved that before.
I understand they're white themselves.
Oh, maybe. Nobody knows for sure. Nobody's ever been up here to see.
Chico. What's the matter with him? Walters, look. He seems to see something.
Kent, he does see something. Up in the sky.
What?
Kent, look.
Good heavens. Walters, what is it?
It's a man. The figure of a man up in the clouds. The figure of a man in pale green fire. Kent!
Look. It's getting clearer. It's tremendous, Walters. It's an Indian. It's the figure of an Indian.
He's got his hand raised. It's a warning, Kent. It means to go back. What is it? Look.
Walters, you stay right here. Don't move.
Kent, where you going? Wait.
Just stay by the sled. Keep the dogs quiet.
It's getting brighter. Kent!
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm certainly going to find out. There's something in those clouds, all right. Up we go. Up. I can't blame Walters for feeling shaky. I felt the same way myself. Unseen eyes following us, watching us all the time. Now then, into those clouds. Whatever you are, here we come. Oh, it's queer. Not a thing. Not a sign of Indians or fire or anything else. Just clouds and mist. Well, I don't understand it. There isn't anything here, yet I did see that figure, whatever it was. Walters was right. It was warning us away. Well, no use staying up here. Might as well get back down and see what happens next. Down we go again. Down.
Coming, Walters. I'm right here.
Well, where you been?
I ran up to that little hummock to see if I could make something out of that thing in the sky.
It ain't there no more. Did you see anything?
No, not a thing.
Well, we see it. You can't get around that.
No, I'm not trying to. The question now is, what do we do?
I'd say we go back right now.
Oh, it's too dark. We'd miss our own trail.
I'd say try it anyway. Do you want to spend the night here? What's the matter? What you looking at now?
I'm not sure. Up there ahead. Through the opening in those cliffs. Can you see anything?
Too dark to see much.
Looks like a valley opening out beyond the cliffs. Look, Walters. Look, through that opening. Don't you see something up there? Don't you?
Which way? No, I don't see nothing.
Look again. Keep looking.
Wait a minute. Yes, I do see something, Kent. It's a light.
That's it, Walters. There's a flickering light up in that valley. It's almost like a signal light. Come on.
Come on. What do you mean? Where are you going?
Up there, of course. Man, don't you understand? It may be Peters and Martin.
Can't wait. What about that figure? That engine in the sky? Whatever it was, it said, go back. Go back, just as plain as day.
Never mind. We're going on, Walters. We've got to. Come on, get the dogs going. Hurry up.
Kent, I'm telling you we better not.
Walters, if it is Peters and Martin and they're hurt or dying of starvation, would you want to leave them here to die? Would you?
No, we couldn't do that. Injuns or no Injuns. Frisco! Chico, up! Get up! Come on! Up!
That's the stuff, Walters. I know you wouldn't quit. We'll head right for that opening in the cliff. Look, the light's still there.
Come on! Get a move on you! Mush it over!
Far away in the darkness of the Arctic night, a faint and flickering signal beckons to Clark Kent and Captain Walters. Under the shadow of the cliffs, on across the crackling ice fields, the panting dog team draws ever closer. And meanwhile, behind them and on every hand, dark forms close in along the trail, slipping silently from rock to rock, hiding behind shadowy blocks of snow and ice.
There it is, Walters. We're through the opening of the cliff. There's the light.
It is a light, sure enough. Say, there's a hut there, too. Eskimo Ice House. I can just make it out.
All right. This is close enough. Stop the team. Pull up.
Oh, there you go. Chico, oh, down. You think this is close enough? I'll have to peg down the dogs.
Sure, we'll walk the rest of the way. Well, that light's still there. Make it fast, Walters.
All right. I reckon this will hold them.
All right, come on. If it's Peters and Martin, they may be in bad shape.
Kent, the light's gone out.
That's so. It was up there on top of the hut. Must have been some kind of a lamp. Here we are. Did you think to bring a light?
Here, I got my flashlight.
Good.
There's the door.
All right, I'll go first. You crawl in behind me.
Careful now. You don't know what's in there. Maybe you better take the light.
It's all right. Come on in.
Well, say, I don't... Why, it's empty. There ain't nobody here.
Martin. Ray Martin. Professor Peters.
No use. This is all there is to it. If they was here, you'd see 'em. But look, there's a whole lot of stuff here. Maybe if we got a look at that, we might be able to tell if it was theirs or not. Listen, Kent. The dogs.
What's happening?
Something's got after 'em. Kent, you stay where you are. Don't go outside. Don't you do it.
Captain, whatever it is, we've got to save those dogs. Do you want to die right here? Come on, out the way we came in, out through the hole.
No, don't you do it. Kent, look. There was a face. A face there at the door. An Injun, Kent, an Injun.
All right, then we know what we're up against. Come on.
No, don't you see? They set that light. They just wanted to catch us in the hut. It was a trick, Kent.
Come on, Walter. Stay here if you like. I'm going out. Oh, all right. If you want trouble, you can have it. Just wait till I get outside.
Oh, think you'll try knocking my brains out, do you? Well, come closer and try again. There we are, out in the clear. Now then. I think I can do better from the air. If it doesn't do anything else, it may startle a bit. Watch out. Here I come. One in each hand. That ought to give them something to think about. There. How do you like that? Try to knock strangers on the head, will you? There. Now then, where's Walters? Oh, there he comes. Watch it! The devil! Oh, they've hit Walters with a club. But I'll settle that. I've just been playing before. See how you like this.
Oh.
Here, now, you're coming around all right, Captain.
What? Where am I?
Right here, inside the igloo. How do you feel?
Kent, what happened?
We were mobbed, Walters. One of your Indian friends hit you over the head with a club before I could stop him.
Indians? But where are they now?
They're gone, thank you. I told them to go, and they went like that.
What? You fought them off? But they'll come back?
Oh, no, they won't. Not those Indians. I'll forget it, Walters. I've got something much more interesting, if you're not feeling too low.
I'll be all right. I got a good thick head. What's up?
Walters, you were right, and so was I.
What do you mean?
It was a trap, all right. Those devils meant to get us in here and probably wipe us out. And I'm afraid that's what happened to Peters and Martin, too.
Kent, what do you mean?
I've been searching around. I found something here in the igloo, something mighty important. Can you sit up, Walters?
Yep.
There. All right. Just look here. Look at this.
What you got there? What is that, Kent? Tell me, what is it? Kent, tell me, what is it?
Huddled in the tiny Eskimo ice cabin, Ken and Walter stare unbelievingly at what Kent holds in his hands. The clue that sets them definitely on the trail of Professor Peters and Ray Martin. What is it? And what will happen when they set out tomorrow morning to follow it down? And meanwhile, what of Peters and Martin themselves? Are they still alive? And if they are, can Kent and Walters reach them in time? Tune in next time and follow the story of Superman.
presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman! And now, Superman, valiant fighter for truth and justice, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who walks about among human beings disguised as mild Clark Kent, news reporter for the Daily Planet. When we last saw him, Superman was in the wilds of Ellesmere Land with Captain Ike Walters, navigator and sled driver, searching for the famous explorer Alonzo Cragg, missing 3 years, and also for Professor Peters and Ray Martin of the Daily Planet. Our story continues today. Several hours have gone by. It is morning, and a thin northern sunlight streams in through the igloo's opening. Kent and Walters are still discussing the mysterious object found by Kent the night before. Listen.
Let me see that diary you found here in the igloo. My gosh, Kent. You really think it's Martin's?
Positive. I'd know Ray's writing anywhere.
And you say it was buried under the ice?
Yeah, the Indians got almost everything else, but they didn't get this. There isn't a doubt of it, Walters.
Sure seems not.
Those devils did to Peters and Martin just what they tried to do to us. And Martin writes it all down. Listen to this on the last page. Here. Can't write much more. They're closing in. We'll try to hide the diary and convince Cragg is still alive. And there it stops.
Then the Indians came.
Right. The Indians came. And we may never know what happened next. But I don't understand it, Walters. Listen. I'm going outside. I'll feed the dogs and unpack the sled.
I'm coming too. Give me a hand up, Kent.
No, now you stay where you are, Walters. It was a nasty clip on the head you got.
Oh, I'm all right.
Hey, look where we got you last night. We're right on the edge of a coastline. Look, will you? There's open water out there. And what's that thing? Walters, look.
I see it, Kent. Coming right down the strait. It's a native kayak. Eskimo canoe.
Well, I wonder what he's after.
He's a scout. Look at him drive that kayak. Say, I reckon he don't see them walruses. He better watch out.
Quick. I'll go down one side of that little point. You go the other. We'll catch him and make him talk.
Oh, Kent, I'm sorry. I can't make it.
What?
I reckon I'm just about all in, Kent. Oh.
Oh, he just fainted. He'll be all right.
And is that a bit of luck? Superman can do so much better than Clark Kent. And with Walters out of the way, who'll be the wiser? Off we go. Down to that point. He can't see me now, but I'll be able to see him and jump out at him when he comes by. This'll do it. Now then. Oh, he's certainly traveling. Must be out for exercise. And he doesn't see those walruses. Oh, what's the matter with him? He's heading right past them. Why, the fool! Oh, that old bull's getting ready to charge. He's after the kayak. Oh, he's got him. I think it's time Superman took a hand in this. Up we go. Up. Faster. Certainly going to be close. Got to hurry. He's closing in. Paddle, you fool! Now then, down. Oh, he's got the kayak. He's upset it. Down, faster. No, you don't. I want this man myself. Get away from here. Go on, beat it. Let's get this man before he drowns. Get down in that kayak right now. Come on, I said, get out. All right, if you won't leave, I will. Got to pick this fellow up and take him ashore. Now then, got him loose. Turn him over. Oh, great heavens. It's not an Indian at all. What? It's Professor Peters, and he's half drowned. Well, I got Peters and Walters on my hands now. Up we go. Back to the hut. Up, and away!
All right, Professor. How's it going now?
Mr. Kent, I can't thank you enough. That bull walrus. Killers, too, them bulls. Say, do you mind telling us what in thunderation you was doing paddling that kayak?
Doing? When?
Just now, when we looked. You were standing down that strait like the devil was after you.
My dear Captain Walters, the devil was after me. The devil chief of the Cunalaka Indians.
What? He's coming this way? The old medicine man? Professor, you've actually seen him?
Yes, Kent, I've seen him. The chief who never dies. When I last saw him, he was preparing a tribal sacrifice.
What? A sacrifice?
Just so, Captain. One in which poor Ray Martin and I were to be the central figures.
What are they going to do?
Oh, my dear fellow, it's much better not to ask.
Do you know?
Yes, I have seen the preparations just before I escaped. It was one or the other of us, Kent. Martin is sick. I went for help.
What's that? Martin's sick?
Peter, that sacrifice. When are they going to do it?
I think I heard them say noon.
Noon? Walters, you've got the watch. What time is it now?
Kent, you can't do anything. The professor and me can't walk. And anyway...
Oh, what time is it, man?
11:30.
Professor, this Indian camp. Where is it? How far away?
Oh, Kent, you can't do it. It's horrible, but you can't.
All right. Where is it?
It's up the coastline, but it's 20 miles. You can't possibly get there.
Kent, what are you doing? Come back.
What do you think I'm doing? I'm going to get Ray Martin.
I know, but you can't.
Kent, you're out of your mind. One man against the tribe.
Well, maybe they haven't got guns.
I know they haven't, but you can't get there in time, Kent. You really, you can't do it.
Well, they may be late. May not start at noon. I'll take the dogs. You and Walters stay here in the hut. You said follow the coastline, eh? All right, so long.
Kent, wait a moment.
You can't possibly do it.
Wait a minute. Can't make it, eh? Well, we'll see if I can. Gotta take these dogs part of the way, just for the sake of appearances. After that, well, we'll see if Superman can't beat the clock. All right, come on your feet. Chico, Frisco, up. All right, now, get in there. Out you go. Hush. This is something like about 50 times faster than dogs. Let's see now. Peter said 20 miles up the coast. Ought to be there. Huh. What's that? Smoke. That's it. That's the camp, all right. Got to hurry. See, they're all out there. Got some kind of an altar. Big stone. I'll circle over and see what they're up to. Oh, the devils. What are they up to? There's Martin, laid out on that stone. Who's that coming now? Good heavens. Peters was right. Now's the time, all right. Well, I'll strike them first. And if that doesn't work, well, down we go. Down. Sorry, boys. Afraid I've got to break up the party if you don't stand back with those clubs. Watch it, you. Oh, you would, eh? Well, let's see you stop this. That's all for you now. Can't stop any longer. Ray, are you all right? Ray. No. Dick is almost dead. Ray, it's Clark Kent. You saved. It's all right. Let me in those ropes. There we are. That does it. Up we go. And just in time. Up, and away! Got to make time now. He's in a bad way. Got to get back to the sled and pack him in blankets. Faster. Even then, I don't know. Faster. There they are. Now, down. There they are. Now. That's it. They're all covered up. Ray, are you all right? Ray, Clark Kent. Ray, don't you know me? It's Kent. Clark Kent.
Kent. Good old Kent. No, you've gone.
Ray, you bet I came. Oh, you'll be all right now. Everything's going to be all right.
No use. I'm going, Kent. Going fast.
No.
Listen.
Ray, no, you're not going.
Listen,
No.
Kent. Listen, please, Kent.
All right, Ray. What is it?
Map, Kent. In the pocket. Map.
A map. All right. Forget the map, Ray.
No, Kent. Map. Shows way to the secret gallery.
What?
Gallery. Listen, Kent. Gallery where treasure, Kent. Look up the north. Ice caves.
far down in ice.
Oh, Ray, never mind the treasure. Do you think we care about that?
Gold. Gold. Emerald. Kent. Take map and ice. And that's not all. Look out, Kent. Careful. Craig.
What? Ray, what did you say?
Craig. Alonzo. Craig.
Ray, what about Craig? Where is he?
Yes. Alonzo. Craig.
Yes?
Look out. Craig.
Ray Martin. Ray, what is it? Ray, what about Alonzo Craig?
No use. Whatever it was, we'll never know. Not now.
Alonzo Craig. What weird, unbelievable truth had Ray Martin discovered in his long, dying watches at the Cunalaka Indian camp? And what of the map and the fabulous treasure of the North? Tune in next time and follow the story of Superman.
That was the first half of Superman there. Sorry about the dogs going crazy and making your dog go crazy, Matt Christie, but let us know what you think of everything so far. I actually kind of enjoy this. It's a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought it would be a little bit cheesier so far than it has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was picturing oh, well, gee whiz, Lois. You know,
right.
Like that kind of dialogue.
Yeah, no, and not only that, but, I mean, it seems like Clark Kent's trying to get me banned off of YouTube.
I know. Giant white people.
And what about the tribe of white people that hate white people? Tell me that doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
Anyway.
I'll let Novel Bro say it in the chat. He knows what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. Levi. But, I will we'll go ahead and shut us back off, and we will continue the evening's program. We're probably going to run just a little bit later tonight for those of you that not believe Ricada doing a stream tonight. If I am wrong, please let me know, because I like being wrong about Ricada not doing a show.
Right.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman! And now, Superman, mighty visitor from another world, came to Earth when the planet Krypton was destroyed by quakes and explosions. Superman, who can bend steel in his bare hands, leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who walked about among human beings disguised as mild Clark Kent, news reporter for a great metropolitan paper. Still in the wilds of Ellesmere Land, Kent and Captain Walters have joined the museum scientist, Professor Peters, in an effort to find out what has become of Alonzo Craig, famous Arctic explorer, missing 3 years, and also to investigate the mystery of the Cunalakas and their sacred treasure. When we last saw him, Kent had just rescued Ray Martin, fellow reporter from the Indians, only to have Martin die of exhaustion after gasping out a vague warning and telling Kent of a secret map that would guide him to the treasure hoard. As our story continues today, Kent has returned to the lonely igloo that serves as a base. He and Walters and Professor Peters are poring over the mysterious map Ray Martin gave Kent before he died. Listen.
My dear Captain Walters, you're quite right. It's as plain as day. Martin found out, heaven knows how, the secret of the Indian treasure, and he made this map.
But why only half of it? We can't get anywhere with this.
Just a moment. There's writing on it. Entrance is here to sunken temple of ice. White terror.
White terror? What did you mean?
There's something missing. Kent, my dear fellow, this map does us no good whatsoever. It's not complete.
Here, let me see it again. Kent, you dropped something. It's that ring.
The one I sent down to Paula Craig.
It fell out of my pocket. Wait, Scott. The ring, wait. It's broken. What's happened to it?
No, it's not broken. It opened up. There's a secret compartment back of the seal. Now look. There's something inside the compartment.
Kent, do you mean to say you've never opened that ring before?
I never knew it could be opened. I say. Professor, Walters, look here, will you?
Oh, my land. If it ain't another map, all folded up into a little wad.
Oh, no. No, wait a moment. It's not another map. Kent, it's the missing half of the map we were just looking at.
Professor, you're right.
Match them up. There you are. That's it. Now, Martin's map, complete.
Wait, that ain't possible.
Sure it is, Walters, don't you see? Martin made the map during those weeks when he and the professor were held prisoners. He found out about the secret compartment, and he hid half the map in the ring.
I know, Kent, but I don't understand.
The Indians robbed you and Martin of everything you had, didn't they?
Yes, indeed they did, of every last thing.
All right, that proves it. Martin made his map. He hid half of it in the ring. Then the Indians robbed him. Whichever one got the ring brought it down to Port Ormond and sold it to Captain Walters, not knowing it contained a secret compartment.
Godfrey, it don't hardly seem possible.
Well, maybe not, but it's just what happened, all right. What about the map, Professor? Can you make it out?
Kent, it shows a perfect route from here to a place called the Cliffs of Ice. And it says that's where we'll find the treasure.
A route? Could we follow it with the dog team?
I don't see why not. Captain, look here.
Hey, I reckon we could at that. What's that writing?
Here. The treasure exists. Look in the sunken temple. The witch doctor guards it constantly. Beware the white terror.
What's it mean?
Enter from the valley of the cliffs. Take care, Alonzo Crag. And that's all. Right there, the writing stops.
I don't get it at all. What's this about Craig?
We'll never know that. Come on, we're on the right track anyway. I'll go harness the dog.
Northward over 50 miles of ice fields, into the mountains of the Cunalaka. While the Arctic twilight fades into night, Kent, Peters, and Captain Walters arrive at last in the valley of the cliffs. And the trail vanishes. No sign of a clue. No opening in the overhanging wall of jagged ice. Tired, worn, the men come together again after fruitless hours of searching.
Oh, let it go, Walters. Look, there's the professor. Maybe he's found something.
It ain't likely. Hi there, Professor. Any luck?
No, my dear Captain. No luck at all. No, I'm afraid Ray Martin's map will miss a necessary clue.
We'll wait for daylight. Maybe we'll be able to see better. Anyhow, there's been no sign of Indians. That's something.
I imagine this must be a sacred valley. They probably don't come near it.
What's that?
Oh, it's them dogs. They're fighting again.
Lend a hand now, quick,
before they chew each other to bits.
Oh, I say, look. Chico's broken loose. He's out of the climate, Walters. He's running loose. Catch him, Walters. Whistle at him.
Walters, whistle at that dog.
Chico! Come back here, Chico! Confound that dog.
Walters will get him. There, he's answering the whistle. That's all right. Okay. Jump, quickly. The cliff. Look out, jump. Look out.
Great Scott. What happened? Part of the ice cliff broke away and they nearly fell on us. My dear Kent, that was a very narrow shave.
What's going on? Glory, look at that cliff. Who did it?
You did it, with your whistle. Right beyond a doubt. When you whistled, my dear Captain, the high, shrill note jarred loose a portion of the ice cliff.
I don't believe it.
Well, it's a well-known scientific phenomenon. The shrill sound set the ice vibrating and broke the cliff loose. Wait a moment. Where's Kent?
Hey, come here, Peters. Walters. I think I found it.
You found it? Found what?
Hey, look, there's a great big hole.
Professor, Captain Walters, this is it. The entrance to the sunken temple Ray Martin mentioned on his map. Look at that hole. It opened up when that ice cliff fell.
The entrance? Good grief, that can be the entrance. Hey, where are you going?
Inside, of course. Come on, bring your flashlight.
You'd better be careful, Captain. No telling what this may lead to.
I tell you, this can't be the temple. Why, my land, you don't suppose them Indians knock half the cliff off every time they go into the temple, do you?
Now, never mind. May not be the regular entrance, but it'll do. The cliff fell down and exposed the gallery. Look, it's been carved, too. This place didn't just happen. It was cut right out of the ice. Yes, sir, he's right. Look at that thing. It's an altar, and this passageway is running out through the wall. Walter. Kent. We've come directly into the middle of the Temple of Ice. And up there above us, you can see the sky through that huge opening. You note how the echo has stopped? And somewhere, probably very near us, is the sacred treasure.
What was that?
Laughing. It sounded like someone laughing.
Someone. That wasn't nothing human. That wasn't.
Quiet. Listen, both of you. What was it Martin said? The witch doctor guards the treasure.
Professor, do you think...
Listen. That was the witch doctor of the Cunalakas, the ruler of the tribe who never dies. And he's somewhere hidden in these ice caves.
Now, look, you two stay right here. I'm going to look for that thing, whatever it is. Wallace is right. It's not human.
Kent, don't be a fool.
Don't you do it, Kent. Stay here now. Keep quiet. Turn out the flashlights. I'm going to catch that thing and see what it is.
Look there on the other wall. Kent, great heavens, look. It's the devil himself.
Out with the lights, quick.
Now then, we'll see if Superman can't catch a witch doctor. Thing I can see in the dark. Ah, there he goes. Down that corridor. Too late, my friend. You can't get away. Faster. Now then, got him. Oh, he's strong. Oh, strong as an elephant. Now you can't choke me. Come on to that. Out where I can see it. Oh, all right. You asked for it. See how you like bouncing off a nice wall. See how you like this. That fixed him. Devil or witch doctor, whatever he is. Now to make sure. What's this? Great Scott, what the... Why, it's not possible. It can't be.
Kent, where are you? Look out, Kent! He's coming! The White Terror! Kent!
Now what? Something's gone wrong. Well, I'll leave you here for the minute, my friend. You won't come through till I get back. Something's attacked Peters and Waters. Sounded like an animal. Huh? There he is. Faster!
Kent, where are you? Look out!
Stay back, both of you! Stay back! Now then, first the devil and a bear. Oh, a bear, bigger than anything I ever saw. Here he comes. Back you go. Back! Try to claw me, will you? Not this time. Get out of here. Go on, get going. I like animals. I don't like to hurt them unless I have to. Glad that bear turned tail. Now, back to Peters and Walters as Clark Kent.
Walters? Professor Peters, where are you?
There, Kent. Are you all right? Kent, your light.
What happened? This way, Professor. There, follow the flashlight. It's safe enough now.
Gosh almighty. What was it?
Kent, are you all right? Great heavens, what was that thing?
That was the White Terror Ray Martin warned us about. A full-grown white polar bear.
I know, but what did you do? We heard a fight.
Oh, I drove him off. Hit him on the snout, luckily. Never mind that now. Something much more important. Look here.
Where? What is it?
Hold the light, Walters. There.
Well, what of it? It's that ring again.
No, it isn't.
What?
I found the witch doctor, and he was wearing that ring. Peters, Captain, that ring belonged to Captain Cragg. And I can tell you something else, too. I'm sure of it. Walters, listen. Fair hair, taller than I am by half a foot.
And what are you saying?
A deep scar running all the way along his right jaw. Who answers that description, Walters?
Kent, you've seen him. Where is he?
Back there in the ice caves, unconscious.
Oh, Kent, what are you talking about?
Professor, he's raving mad. Bewitched, if you like, out of his mind. But that witch doctor, the medicine man who never dies, the ruler of the Cunalakas, is the missing explorer, Captain Alonzo Cragg. It's he. Cragg, he came too. He's getting away. Peters, Walters, follow me. After him. Come on, Walters. Come on.
Unbelievable mystery in the sunken temple of the Cunalaka Indians. Captain Alonzo Cragg, famous explorer missing over 3 years, has become the witch doctor who never dies. What has happened? What strange northern magic has entered his mind and soul? Can the rescue party find him in the sunken caverns of the ice cliffs? Tune in next time and follow the thrilling story of Superman. And remember, be sure to tune in the next thrilling installment of the amazing transcription feature, Superman. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, valiant fighter for truth and justice, faster than an airplane, stronger than a locomotive. He came to Earth from interstellar space to walk the Earth disguised as Miles Clark Kent, news reporter for the Daily Planet. Sent to search for Alonzo Cragg, famous explorer who has been missing for over 3 years, Clark Kent is in the wilds of Ellesmere Land in the far north with Professor Peters and Captain Ike Walters, navigator. Hearing that Cragg has been captured by Indians, they have penetrated to the sunken temple of the Cunalakas, far down in the ice beneath the valley of the cliff, where the witch doctor who never dies keeps watch over the mysterious treasure of the tribe. When we last saw him, Kent, as Superman, had overpowered the witch doctor, only to make the incredible discovery that the witch doctor was Alonzo Cragg himself. The explorer, evidently demented, had feigned unconsciousness and made good his escape in the twisting caverns of ice. As our story continues today, an hour has passed. Captain Walters has been sent up to the surface to bring back food and lanterns. Kent and Professor Peters have built a fire and are anxiously awaiting his return. Listen.
You notice where we have our fire built, Kent? Apparently on the altar of the temple.
What about it?
Well, there seems to have been fire here before. That accounts for the wood.
I wonder what they do down here.
Oh, native rituals, dances, something of that sort, I imagine. Possibly in connection with the treasure.
I wonder if Ray Martin was right. If there really is any treasure.
Find Alonzo Cragg, Kent. Find out how he was turned from a man in the prime of life into the witch doctor of the Cunalakas. If you can find that out, discovery of the secret of the treasure will be very easy.
I never should have let Cragg escape.
You quite sure the witch doctor was Cragg?
Positive, Professor.
It's amazing. Simply amazing.
How do you explain it? What's the answer?
It's hard to say, Kent. I don't believe in magic.
No, nor I.
But there's something here we don't understand. Either Cragg has lost his mind or he's under the influence of some terrific force or drug.
Well, if that's true, what chance have we even if we do find him?
Kent, I don't know. It all looks hopeless. Kent, what's that? That grinding. Wait a moment, don't move.
Professor, behind you. Back of the altar.
Good heavens, what is it?
In the light of the fire, look. Professor, a whole section of the ice is swinging to one side. It's a door. It's an opening door.
Kent, look. That was no accident. Look into the opening.
There's a passageway.
I think we'll find, Kent, that passageway leads into the treasure chambers of the Cunalakas.
But how? What made it open? I don't understand.
The heat of the fire, Kent. It's part of the ritual. When they lit their fire on the altar, just as we lit ours, the heat started the mechanism that opens the ice door.
Professor, got your light?
Yes, but it's going dim, but still and on, it may do.
Well, come on. We're going through that opening. Follow me.
Right. Yes. What do you see? Where does it lead? Leads into a room. Look, Kent, this is it. Look at those carvings on the wall, cut from the living ice. And there in the corner, it's another altar. And there's something on it. It's a chest, an old wooden chest, 17th century, maybe older. Spanish or Portuguese. Professor, I'm going to break it open. Walters will never come back. His flashlight is getting weaker and weaker. I can't wait for Walters. Come on, lend a hand here, Professor. Kent, you can't possibly do it. I think I can. Anyway, I can try. Think of the wood box. All right? Here it goes. Kent, my dear fellow, how in the world is it open? All right, Professor. Throw back the lid. Great heavens. Look. Professor, it's true. There is a treasure. Oh, and what a treasure. Oh, diamonds. Hundreds of huge diamonds and emeralds. Look at that green fire. Look. There's more. Look, there's more underneath. Red and blue. There must be rubies. And there's gold. Look at all that stuff. Oh, Kent, it's unbelievable. Incredible. It simply can't be true. And yet it is. What? All the money in the world wouldn't buy 1/4 of what's been locked away in that chest for who knows how many years. And it's ours, Kent. Just think of it. It's all ours. I can't believe it, Kent. We really must be dreaming. Up there, Professor. What's the matter with you? To get it out. To get it out. That's what we've got to do, Kent. Quick. Wait. Kent, hold up. Kent, it's not possible. It's incredible. And it's all ours, Kent. Don't. Okay. I'm joking. It's out. Collapsed. Something queer about this. There's a strange odor in the air. What was that? Cragg! The witch doctor! He's outside in the temple. Oh, that's the game, is it? Watched us come in here, then he shut the ice door on us.
We'll see how much difference that makes to Superman. Crag tried to knock us out with some kind of gas. Got Peters, all right. Good thing he can't see what happens next. Here it goes. Hard. Almost as hard as steel, but can't stand up against this. Now then, once more and we're up.
There. That does it. Where's that witch doctor now? Oh, throwing knives at me, are you? Well, that's just too bad, my friend, because it shows me where you are. And this time you won't get away. Up, there he goes. Down that gallery. Faster, faster. Now then, I don't want to hurt him. Crag gone mad. Down we go. Down. Crag. Alonzo Crag. Stop it, you fool. You can't get away. And don't throw that knife either. I said stop. Doesn't know what he's doing. Crag. Captain Crag. Oh. Strong. Strong as any man I ever saw. They've done to him. I gotta do something. I have to stun him. I hate to do it, but... that does it. He's out cold this time. Now, back to Peters. Here we go, Crag. Back up the gallery. Up. Up. Faster. Ah, there's the glow of the fire. Just around that corner. Have to come down here. Peters has come through. I can't let him see me. Down. Down.
Kent, where are you? What's happened?
Coming, Professor. This way. Bring your light, will you?
Kent, what happened to me? Everything went black. I must have collapsed.
Professor, the flashlight, where is it?
I don't know. I've lost it, Kent. I don't understand it.
Neither do I, Professor. There was something in the air of that room. But look what I have here.
What are you carrying? Come nearer the fire. Good heavens.
See, Professor? This is the witch doctor. Did you ever know Captain Crag?
Well, Kent, I can't believe it. It's not possible.
Look at him. I caught him and knocked him out. I had to do it, Professor. He's a madman, a regular fiend.
Oh, heaven help him. Kent, you are right. It is Alonzo Crag.
Give me your belt, quick.
What are you going to do?
Tie him up, of course. Can't have him running off again. Quick, he's beginning to move around.
Kent, the poor fellow. What can we do?
Get him out of here. And back to civilization where he can get medical treatment. Oh, what's keeping Walter so long?
He ought to be back any minute now.
Meanwhile, we've got a madman and millions of dollars in gold and gems on our hands. That's it, Professor. Yes. Tie the fellow around his feet good and tight. If we ever get out of this, he'll thank us for it.
I see. Kent, what about his hands?
My own belt taking care of that. There. All right. Now then, come back into that treasure chamber. Oh, you needn't worry. Whatever it was that knocked you out is cleared off by now.
Well, if you say so, Kent. Why, that tremendous gate, it's completely shattered.
Yes, isn't it? Must have fallen. Well, in we go.
What are you going to do?
Professor, I'm going to get that treasure chest out of there just as fast as I can. Come on, give me a hand here.
Oh, but Kent, you can't move it. It's not possible.
Oh, yes, we can. It's on a sled, don't you see?
Right.
Come on. It's moving already. Slide it right along the ice. Careful now. All right. Get full, and I'll push from the back.
That's right.
Ready? That's
It's moving, isn't it? Why, really, it slides quite easily.
I told you, Bud. Oh, all right, that'll do. Hold it. Stop it right here by the altar.
Now what? You know, I'm getting that worried about Walter.
So am I. He's been gone over an hour. I don't like the look of things at all. Well, all right. Now then.
Well, what are you doing now?
Putting the witch doctor, Crag, whichever you want to call him, right across the sled on top of the treasure chest. Now, Professor, you and I are going to drag this whole business out of here.
Oh, no, Kent, we can't make it.
Oh, yes, we can. Anyway, we've got to try. Can't wait any longer for Walter. We may meet him on the way up.
Oh, but Kent, we don't know the way out. We don't even know which way Walters went. Wait a moment. Listen, Kent.
What's that? The Indians. They're coming. They're coming down into the temple. Professor, quick. Lend a hand here. Grab hold of the sled.
Kent, if they catch us in here...
Oh, stop for that, Professor. We've got to get out. We've got to get Craig out, too. Pull, will you? Pull.
Kent, we can't do it. No, not that way. That's where they're coming from.
The gallery, quick. Hey, who's that coming? It's Walter. Hurry, Professor. Walter, hurry. Walter. Hurry, Walter.
Trapped in the depths of the sunken temple of the Cunalakas, caught with the sacred treasure, and the unconscious form of the witch doctor, who is Captain Cragg, bound hand and foot on the sled. What can be done? How can Superman and his companions escape to the surface of the ground? And even if they do, what then? Tune in next time and follow the thrilling story of Superman. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, valiant fighter for truth and justice, champion of the weak and the oppressed. He has appeared on Earth from the outer reaches of the universe with a physical structure never before attained by mortal men. Superman, who is stronger than a locomotive, faster than a speeding bullet, and who walks about among human beings disguised as Miles Clark Kent, news reporter for the Daily Planet. When we last saw him, Kent had captured the Indian witch doctor and found that he was the missing explorer, Alonzo Cragg, completely under the effects of a native poison. As our story continues today, Kent and his friends have brought Cragg and the fabulous Indian treasure safely out of the sunken temple and back to their igloo camp. But an Indian war party is close on their trail, and as Kent remains outside on watch, Captain Walters and Professor Peters hurriedly pack up food and supplies, while beside them the unconscious form of Cragg, still bound, moans and tosses in rising delirium.
Oh, no. Professor, what do you think them devils done to Cragg?
Captain, I have no idea. It's impossible to say. Maybe in some sort of hypnotic trance.
I doubt that. We'll be out of it by now.
Or it may be some drug, Indian poison, something that we know nothing whatever about.
Professor, what if it is? I mean, some drug. What can we do?
That remains to be seen, Captain.
By fear.
Oh, I doubt very much.
Poor fellow.
3 years of this. Listen, the dogs. Where's Kent?
What are they yelping for?
Kent!
All right, Captain.
Kent, what's going on? Are we starting? Can we make it?
Can the dogs make it, Kent? Are they rested? The dogs might make it, but we're not starting. Not now.
What do you mean?
Listen. Too late. We're caught. Come on. The Coonalockers are coming down the trail. We've got to stay where we are and make a stand.
We can't do that. They'll kill us. They'll murder every last one.
Now they'll do the same if we try to leave, and quicker. Get that axe, Captain Walters. Knock a hole through the wall. Just a small one. I'm going to give them a taste of this rifle. Hurry it up.
Trapped in the igloo, Kent and his comrades hold off the hostile Indians. Night falls, and the Indians make camp outside, waiting, watching.
Kent, what's the time?
A little after midnight, Professor. Something wake you up?
I don't know. What's going on?
No change. I'm keeping watch. As far as I can tell, the Indians have made camp in a circle about 100 yards away. They mean to starve us out.
How many of them are there?
I can't be sure. I think it's just a small war party. The rest of them are back at the temple. That's not my real worry.
But what do you mean?
How's Captain Cragg?
Well, the question if he'll ever recover, Kent. He's getting worse.
There's only one thing to do, Professor. If there is some secret, some way of bringing Cragg back to health and reason, the Indians are the only ones who know it.
And I'm afraid Cragg is doomed.
Well, get some sleep, Professor. I'll call you when it's your turn to go on watch.
All right, Kent.
Sleep steals again through the dim interior of the tiny igloo, where hope is all but dead. But outside, high over the ice fields of Ellesmere Land, a dim shape hurtles through the night. Superman, red cape streaming in the wind, returns to the sunken temple in the cliffs of ice to force the secret of Cragg's madness from the Cunalaka Indians. We find him now in the heart of the secret ice cave.
They're still there. I can hear them chanting. Ah, there they are. And they see me. Now, down into the middle of the temple. Down. Where's your chief? I want to talk to him. And put down those spears. Drop them.
White man, you take pleasure. We kill you, white man.
Oh, you want to fight, do you? I said drop those spears. All right, if you insist on it.
All right. Now, where's your chief? Don't try to get away. All right, Chief. You and I are going to talk. What have you done to Alonzo Cragg?
You let go. I kill you.
Not this time. What have you done to Alonzo Cragg? Quick.
Big white captain. You'll never know that, white man. I never tell you.
Oh, yes, you will. You'll tell me right now.
I tell you, no. He medicine man. We make him medicine man. He stay medicine man till he die.
You tell me what you've done to Cragg, or you die right here and now.
Come on, you think so, white man. Go and kill me. Kill all Indians. But you never learn secret of Kunalakat. Never, never. White man, he stay medicine man till he die.
Hold Cragg, Walter. Don't let him hurt himself. He's getting delirious.
He wasn't as wild as this last night.
I tell you, there's going to be a crisis. He can't go on as he is now. Oh, where on earth is Kent?
Peters, how is Captain Cragg?
Man, Godfrey, mighty.
Well,
where you been?
Mind that now. How's Cragg?
But, Kent, what did you do?
Peters, how's Cragg? Never mind the question.
Kent, he's worse. You see for yourself. He's mad, delirious.
I'm afraid of that. All right, here. You hold him, Walters. Hey, Professor Peters, help me get his mouth open.
Hey, what? Kent, what are you going to do? What's that powder?
I said hold him. Now then, Peters. Yes. Just a second now. Do your best, Peters.
Oh, he's locking his teeth. There you are, quickly.
There. That's right, good. You got most of it. All right, now water. Make him drink. Force it down his throat. Quick.
Kent, what is it? Where did you get that powder?
Never mind. There's one chance in a million. More water, quick.
Kent, what was that stuff you gave him?
Look at him.
He's turning white. Kent, what have you done?
The only thing I could. If I'd killed him, but we had the chance.
Kent, Professor, listen. Walters, get the rifle. It's the Indian.
Careful, Walters. Watch what you're doing. Kent, they're coming. They're coming sure enough. Hand me the gun.
Here you are, quick.
No, Walters, don't shoot. Don't.
What do you mean, don't shoot? They're right on top of us. They're coming right for the igloo, Kent. They're here.
Kent, Walters, give me that gun. Give it here.
What do you mean, Kent? They're coming right in. They'll kill us.
White man, we come.
So I see. You'll have to wait, Chief.
We no wait. Where is white captain, medicine man?
Lying right there. See for yourself.
You wait too long. We do what we say.
You'll wait until I see what happens. If the captain recovers...
Where is treasure? We take treasure now.
Captain Cragg!
Look at him. He's trying to get out. Cragg. Alonzo Cragg.
What is it? What happened? You see, white captain speak. You give us treasure, we go.
Cragg. Captain Cragg, it's Walters. Old Ike Walters. Kent, he knows me.
Chief, I'll do what I said. You've done your part. You see that chest? Take it. It's yours.
Kent, have you gone out of your mind? That's the Indian treasure.
I know it, but I promised.
White man, now we go. Let you go in peace.
Kent, what have you done? What is it?
Captain Cragg, take it easy. It's all right.
Walters, how is he?
Kent, he's weak, but he knows me. Say, I reckon he'll come out of it after all.
Kent, I don't understand.
Professor, I'm sorry. I did the only thing there was. I went to the Indians. They refused to give me the antidote to the drug. So I bargained with them. I promised to return their treasure if they gave me the antidote.
What is it? You gave them back the treasure? All those gems? That gold?
Oh, it was theirs anyway. We had no right to it. Yes, I gave them back their treasure, Professor, for Captain Cragg's life. And it was the best bargain I ever made. Look at the Indians, Professor. They're going back to the Valley of the Ice Cliffs, back to their country. And we're going back to ours with Captain Cragg. Come on, we'll get the dogs on.
That foghorn. Last time I heard it, Kent, was over 3 years ago. It's like coming back from the dead.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Captain Cragg. Oh, and that reminds me. This ring. I took it from you in the cave.
No, Kent. I want to say something to you.
Oh, please, Captain.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to even attempt to thank you. There aren't words in the language for that. But I do not want you to return the ring. I want you to keep it.
Captain, it's a family heirloom.
I know. My father gave it to me years ago. He valued it above everything else in the world. And so do I. That's why I want you to have it, Kent.
Captain, now look here.
No, but when you saved a man's life, and more than that, you can't refuse him one small favor.
Well,
Please, Kent. I want you to have this ring. It carries the initials of our family. And there's a secret opening in the back of the seat. Here. Give me your finger.
Captain, I don't know what to say, really.
We won't either of us say anything, Kate. We can't. But I want you to remember that this ring is a symbol. It's a symbol of the saving of a man's soul.
Captain Cragg, I'll keep this always, right? Oh, look. Look, there's Captain Walters waving to us from the bridge. We're nearing land. Come on.
The mystery solved. Captain Alonzo Cragg returned to health and sanity after 3 years of living burial. And Clark Kent with another amazing, sensational story for the Daily Planet. But even while the expedition makes its way back to civilization, another assignment, even stranger and more bizarre, is taking form. Tune in next time and follow the story of Superman. And remember, be sure to tune in the next thrilling installment of the amazing transcription feature, Superman.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Gospel of Comics. This next portion brought to you by Blue Coal. Remember, blue coal will make you whole.
I remembered it this time.
Fantastic. What a lead-in.
What a what?
I said, what a lead-in.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I figured it was appropriate. We're going to be listening to The Shadow for the second half of the show.
Oh, yeah. Man, so, you beat Brock on your way to,
the Rock
Tunnel?
Yep.
Yeah, Rock Tunnel.
Yep. On my way to fight 900,000 Zubats. And pray that the first Pokemon I encounter in some area of this tunnel is a fucking Geodude. Or an Onix.
Or a Clefairy. So, now if you catch a Clefairy, you should name it Carlos Maza. I'm not sure if that'll fit, though.
I think it will. I think you can get 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Putinmander is 10.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know who recorded that, Ixel. It's almost like he's a fan of the show, though.
Huh. Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't
still waiting.
know. Yeah, Ixel sent me that over to use as some transition material, and I'm quite fond of it.
And Novel Bro, we're still waiting on something with your Sean Connery impersonation.
That is correct. That is 100% correct.
That you were bragging about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes. We need a sign off. We need a sign off in the Sean Connery voice just to into the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, Gay Wonk. We could just put Gay Wonk.
We could just put Gay Wonk.
That's fantastic. Oh man, and watch it be a male Clefairy too.
That'd be perfect. As I was telling Church off there, it's a good thing we're a small channel, or we would not get away with any of this.
Oh no, not even a little bit.
I had a thought.
You had a thought? Did you put the smoke out between your ears?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I stuck the fire extinguisher in my mouth, and it plugged my nose, and it worked.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that seems good.
Now, if you are able to hold on to Mago Lane all the way till when you get Fly, isn't the text for when you use Fly won't it say something to the effect of "Ma'am got on Margo Lane"?
We'll find out. Oh man, I never thought about that. I've never not had a flyer during a Nuzlocke.
Yeah, it's something to that effect, I think, is what the text says. So get ready to screenshot everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've already got Epstein using Harden.
Yeah, and string shot.
Oh, just looking. So I can catch something in that patch of grass. Then fight. That's a fight. Alright, so I can catch something in one of those two patches of grass. Don't think these guys want to fight. That's a Pokemon. Alright, which patch of grass should I go to? Actually, I'm gonna.
That's a trick.
I'm just gonna go to the one right outside. Go ahead.
Well, I think that first one you might be able to get like a Jigglypuff or something like that in.
You don't think there's anything in this one?
I think it's like the standard stuff in that one. But
could look it up real quick.
Yeah, but
let's see what the first thing I encounter in the cave is.
Fair enough. Probably a Zubat. You know, Vegas betting odds.
Mount Moon, not Rock Cave or Rock.
Oh, Mount Moon. Whatever.
I do have a Repel, but I guess it's a little late for that now. And Paris. Okay, I can take it. Poison Powder's not bad. Sleep Powder, Poison Powder. This is a status Pokemon. What can we name this one? I'm gonna let the chat figure that out while I go grab something to drink, and we start the episode of the Shadow.
Hang on to your butts, everybody.
Critical hit on the Paris. Stun Spore, which is fine. Pokeballs do I have?
Uh-oh.
5. Okay, I have 5. I guess I'll try and catch it now. Yay, it was caught. Alright, now, I'm gonna go grab something to drink. I'm gonna start the episode of the Shadow up. Then you guys can figure out what we should name this Paris mushroom Pokemon when we get back. When I get back.
Let's brainstorm.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the Shadow begins his next adventure, I want to tell you that the big news going the rounds among motorists these days is about the amazing Goodrich Silvertown tire with the Lifesaver tread. It's the talk of the nation. Yes, this new kind of tire stops you quicker in any wet weather emergency than you've ever stopped before. And here's the secret, the reason why this tire resists skidding on the slipperiest roads. The tread is grooved with never-ending spiral bars. Those spiral bars act like a battery of windshield wipers. They sweep water right and left, force it out through the deep drainage grooves, make a dry track for the rubber to grip. No wonder this new Silvertown is the talk of the nation, the safest thing on wheels. It costs no more to give your family this life-saving protection. Equip your car with Goodrich Safety Silvertown's now. The Shadow, Lamont Cranston, a man of wealth, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Cranston is known to the underworld as the Shadow. Never seen, only heard. His true identity is known only to his constant friend and aide, Margot Lane. Today's story, The Tenor with the Broken Voice.
I just adore hearing Pagliacci. It seems to be the most...
Lamont, this is delightful. I'm so glad we're going to hear Pagliacci. It's my favorite opera.
It is beautiful, Margot. They say this young tenor, Hagen Radcliffe, has a gorgeous voice.
I hear he's marvelous. It should be magnificent in that closing aria of the first act, Vesti da Juba.
Oh, the curtain's going
We'd better go.
That's why I didn't get in. I think we're going to be late for work. All right.
That last aria.
La gente paga per ridevole qua. Ai, se chi vola colombina, ridi Pagliaccia, e ognuna platerà. Tra i musica e la massima spasso il pianto in una spazio stignato e il dolor ridi Pagliaccia ma il tuo volvo in
Lamont, what happened?
I'm afraid Radcliffe's voice is cracked, my dear. This is tragic.
Madonna Maria, my beautiful voice is gone. 10 years of study in slavery and now nothing. My life is ended.
How sad, Lamont. They're leading him off the stage.
Good evening, Margot.
Good evening, Lamont. What are you listening to on the radio?
Don't you recognize it, Margot? It's the opera Pagliacci.
Oh, yes. And it's being broadcast from that same opera house where Hagen Radcliffe's voice cracked during the closing aria, the first act we heard last week.
Yes. Too bad. Just as Radcliffe had reached the end of the long ladder that leads to fame, his voice should fail. But, Margot, I'm not quite sure that we've seen the end of that tragedy.
Why, what do you mean, Lamont?
Just that a great tragedy invariably has repercussions. You might like it to throwing a stone in a quiet pond. There's never just one ripple. There are waves of them. But I'm afraid I'm becoming morbid. Who's singing the tenor role in Pagliacci tonight? You?
Harley Fitt.
Oh,
He
yes.
has quite a lovely voice, too, hasn't he? This is that same aria that Hagen Radcliffe's voice cracked on last week.
Turn up the radio a bit, Margot.
Yes, I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret that this brings the broadcast of Pagliacci
tragedy to a close.
What?
There's been a tragedy at the opera. A sandbag fell from the ceiling, hitting Harley Fisk, the tenor, killing him instantly. We now return you to our studios.
Oh, Lamont, how ghastly.
See, my dear, as I said, ripples of the stone falling in the quiet pond, starting to spread.
Then you think this has a connection with what happened to Radcliffe last week?
This is no time to think, Margot. I'm going to investigate.
Oh, Lamont, can the shadow never rest?
Not as long as crime and outrage never rest.
Hello?
Hello, Commissioner Weston?
Yes?
This is Clyde Burke of the Classic. Say, Commissioner, what about the death of Harley Fisk at the Opera House last night?
Well, what about it? A very regrettable accident.
Maybe. But listen, Commissioner, there's a story in here somewhere. Just the week before, Hagen Radcliffe was singing that same song when he lost his voice for good.
Yes, I know that.
Well, we figured on running a story on how maybe that song is jinxed. And we wanted a statement from you. You know, they're planning to do the same opera again tomorrow night.
Of all the cheap sensationalism. You can't expect me to be a party to such a story.
Why not?
Good day, Mr. Burke.
Commissioner Weston, you sign these orders for the traffic detail?
Yes, Hello.
Good morning, Commissioner Weston.
Oh, it's you, Shadow. What do you want now?
I have some suggestions for you. You know they are doing Pagliacci again tonight.
So I've been told.
Weston, you must be sure at least 2 squads of detectives cover every section of the Opera House. Afraid there'll be trouble again during the singing of the closing aria.
No, I won't do that, Shadow.
Weston, you're a very foolish man. There is catastrophe in the cards for tonight. You can prevent it if you follow my instructions.
Shadow, I don't need you or any other man to tell me how to run this office.
Commissioner Weston, didn't your grandmother ever tell you that old saying, there are none so blind as those who will not see? My grandmother did, and again I say it is absolutely imperative that you have a detail guarding the Opera House tonight.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm too busy to discuss it any further.
Isn't it exciting? Did you read that story in the Classic about the opera Pagliacci?
Yes, I did. You know, my husband usually goes to sleep every time we come here to the Opera House. But tonight, my dear, he's positively sitting on the edge of his chair.
Oh, can you blame him?
Well, Henry, do you think the tragedies will repeat themselves? Well, we'll know in a few minutes. Curtain's just about to go up on the first act. Yes, so I understand. Oh, say, isn't that Commissioner Weston coming in? Hey, George, it is. Say, maybe there is something in this after all. Oh, good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
Good evening. You here to try and stop another tragedy, Commissioner?
Absurd. There's nothing to that tragedy nonsense. I'm here solely to listen to the music, and I wouldn't have even done that if my wife hadn't insisted.
Did you hear what he said? Well, I guess there's nothing to it then.
We could have stayed home and played bridge, too.
Yeah.
Curtain going up. Curtain going up.
Well, I wonder if it'll happen tonight. Here's the fatal aria now, dear.
La gente paga e ridevole qua. Chi innamora Colombina, ridi Pagliaccia e ognuno applaudirà. Tra i musica e lastima spazio il bianco, in una scia il fior signato
el dolor.
Clear the stage instantly and ring down the asbestos curtain.
Pay no attention to that man. I warned you today, Shadow.
Yes.
What is this?
This is the voice of the Shadow. And possibly the citizens of this city have more faith in me than the commissioner has. Clear the stage immediately and ring down the asbestos curtain.
Yes, do what he says. Shadow. Shadow, bring down the curtain. Well, there goes the curtain down. I wonder what next.
Listen to me. Listen to me once again, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid. There will not be another explosion. The fire will be kept backstage by the asbestos curtain. Begin leaving in orderly fashion. Obey the ushers, and no one will be hurt. As regards these calamities, you have my word as the Shadow that I will not rest until I have solved this mystery of the opera.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the Shadow makes a false step now, he'll be playing right into the hands of his enemies. And remember, every time you drive in the rain on worn, smooth tires, you may be playing into the hands of a dangerous skid. Who knows what may happen?
The Shadow knows. Beware. Thousands killed or injured. Cars wrecked. That's the price American motorists pay every year when tires lose their grip and skid on wet, slippery pavements.
Yes, motorists, don't risk that sickening pit-of-the-stomach feeling that comes when your car suddenly swerves out of control. For remember, this new Goodrich Silvertown is the only tire with the Lifesaver tread, the amazing skid protection that will stop you quicker, safer in a wet road emergency than you've ever stopped before. The nation's largest independent testing laboratory proved this by testing this new Silvertown against both regular and premium price tires of the 5 other leading tire manufacturers. The engineers of the impartial Pittsburgh Testing Laboratory found that no tire tested, regardless of price, came up to the Goodrich Silvertown in skid resistance. And when you know that Silvertowns also give you the famous Golden Ply blowout protection, is it any wonder that it's called the safest thing on wheels? Put Goodrich Safety Silvertowns on your car now and play safe.
Gentlemen, we have called this meeting of the Board of Directors of the Opera Company because we feel that there now exists a crisis and we directors must come to an immediate decision. You're all aware of the regrettable events of the past week. And gentlemen, we must decide whether or not to suspend opera for the balance of the season. I call on Commissioner Weston, who has kindly consented to come here this evening and advise me. Commissioner Weston.
Well, gentlemen, I'm placed in an awkward position. I realize that to close the Opera House for the balance of the season will mean that a number of people will lose their jobs. Not only the stars, but many who can ill afford it. Stagehands, ushers, porters, extras, and many others who are necessary to an institution of this size. But, gentlemen, the question is, dare you continue?
That is indeed the question, Commissioner. Gentlemen, Mr. Hagen Radcliffe has also consented to appear before us this evening and give his opinion. Mr. Radcliffe.
Gentlemen, my heart is very sad. Not only because I lose my beautiful voice, but also these tragedies that happen when the opera Pagliacci is sung. But I do not think you have to close the opera house. It is only Pagliacci that must close. Because if Pagliacci is never given again, these terrible accidents will finish.
Yes, that makes sense. Why couldn't we just eliminate Pagliacci?
Because, gentlemen, these tragic events are not accidents.
Who said that? I know that voice. The Shadow is here.
The Shadow?
Here?
Yes, gentlemen. Here in the shadows.
Shadow, what do you know about these tragedies in the opera?
Enough, Commissioner Weston, to realize the person who started this reign of terror will never stop until he is brought to justice. You would be content for a time if you discontinued Pagliacci. But the burning, blistering hate that motivates him would force him to strike again and again.
Look here, Shadow. If you have any information, you're obstructing justice in not turning it over to me.
At present, Commissioner, I've only a theory. But I will solve these tragedies for you within the next 48 hours.
Commissioner Weston, I do not agree with the Shadow. I believe Pagliacci is cursed, and that it is only that aria that will bring tragedies.
Mr. Radcliffe, although many times I don't agree with the Shadow, I must admit he has helped me solve many tough cases.
Thank you, Commissioner Weston. I will trap this killer for you if you'll do exactly as I say. Tomorrow night you must once again give the opera Pagliacci.
Gentlemen, have there not been tragedies enough?
Shadow, what do you intend to do if Pagliacci is sung again?
I cannot tell you my plans, Commissioner, but you must trust me. Remember, the Shadow has never failed you yet.
Well, gentlemen, though I hesitate to advise you to do this, nevertheless, in my opinion, this is a case for the Shadow.
Thank you again, Commissioner.
But, Shadow, if there are any tricks...
There will be none. Gentlemen, will you do as I ask? Will you give Pagliacci again a week from tonight? If you do so, arrange to keep Box 7 vacant. For Box 7 will be occupied by the Shadow.
We had best take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, never!
I beg your pardon, Mr. Radcliffe. You have no vote. Only the directors are entitled to vote.
But you cannot do this. Pagliacci is cursed. It started by breaking my voice. Death will follow it every time.
Mr. Radcliffe,
no,
we know how you
cannot
feel.
Do.
Understand the strain you're under as a result of the recent events. But try to calm yourself, sir.
I am sorry, gentlemen. I am sorry.
Will one of you gentlemen assist Mr. Radcliffe to his home, please?
I'll be glad to.
Calling Margot Lane. Calling Margot Lane. We have important work to be done tonight. Meet me in front of the Opera House at 12:30. That is all.
Good evening, Mike. Kind of nice tonight.
Ah, 'tis that. Sure hate to go inside and make me rounds.
Well, Mike, aren't you a little scared having to guard the Opera House at night after all them killings?
Oh, sure, I've been night watchman here at the Opera House for going on 8 years now. I ain't going to start trembling at this late date.
Well, I guess you're safe as long as you don't start singing that mystery song.
Ah, never a bit of fear of that. The Wearing of the Green is the only tune I ever sing. Well, good night, my lad. I must make another inspection tour of the Opera House. Have a saint for service. This here Opera House is the darkest spot in the world. Who's that? I see you over there.
All right, Mike.
Oh, I didn't know it was you, sir.
Come here a minute, Mike. I want to show you something.
Yes, sir, Oh, don't do that, sir. Not to me. Oh, the knife, sir.
No one will stand in my path. Now I will complete my work in Box 7. So, the electric cord runs from the asbestos curtain, and I connect it here to the powder. Tomorrow, let the Shadow call for them to lower the asbestos curtain, and his own words will seal his doom. He will blow the Opera House to pieces.
Well, Margot, the Opera House isn't quite so glittering at this hour.
Oh, so dark it almost seems haunted.
It is haunted in a sense, Margot. Haunted perhaps by the ghost of the immortal Caruso, come to sing at last duet with his great friend Shaliapin.
Lamont, look over there. The body on the floor.
The night watchman. He's been stabbed. Killer has struck again.
Lamont, when will this end?
If my plans work, tomorrow we'll see this atrocious murderer brought to justice.
Why? Why did he kill the watchman?
Probably the watchman discovered him before we arrived, but you'd better go home now. I'll send for an ambulance.
Oh, Lamont, please be careful.
Don't worry, Margot. The killer will not return tonight. She'll be here for tomorrow's opera. I have a ticket for you in Box 6. I will be in Box 7, in the shadows.
Hello?
Hello, Commissioner Weston.
Well, Shadow, you don't seem to be able to do much about this opera killer.
Thanks to my trust in you, the night watchman was almost killed last night. If someone hadn't given him first aid before the ambulance arrived, he'd surely have died. As it is, he'll be unconscious for 3 days.
Weston, I gave that watchman the necessary treatment that saved his life. I will unmask the killer at tonight's performance of Pagliacci.
There isn't going to be any performance of Pagliacci tonight. I'm going to force them to cancel it and close the Opera House for the balance of the season.
Weston, you can't do that. You only turn this atrocious killer into other channels. He's at the breaking point now. Unless he is captured, he will soon terrorize every place of entertainment, the whole entertainment world. You must do as I say. I will see that no harm comes to anyone at tonight's performance. But only if you follow my instructions.
Well, I'm a fool to trust you, Shadow. What do you want me to do?
Arrange to have everyone connected with the opera company present at tonight's concert. All singers, even the members of the board. You personally assign their seats to them and station a plainclothes man on each side of every one of them.
Well, all right, Shadow, I'll do it. But this is your last chance.
Unless I underestimate this murderous madman, it is indeed my last chance, Commissioner. Goodbye.
Well, my dear, I didn't expect to find you here, Pagliacci. Aren't you terrified?
No. I think the whole thing was only a series of unfortunate coincidences. After all, if there were any danger, they would hardly repeat the opera tonight.
I heard a rumor that they were doing it at the request of the Shadow. He guarantees to catch the murderer tonight. Oh, isn't it thrilling? I can hardly wait until the fatal aria is sung.
Is everything all set, Cardona?
Everyone connected with the opera company is present and accounted for, Commissioner. I got 2 men detailed, each one of them. Don't seem to be no trouble so far.
No, but the trouble never started until the closing aria of the first act. Be on your toes.
Yes, sir.
Curtain going up. Curtain going up, ladies and gentlemen.
Curtain going up.
This is the fatal aria now.
Non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio. Bastati, ma e soffetterò. Tu sei Pagliaccio. La giuva e la faccia in farina, la gente paga e ride vuole qua.
Stop the performance! Stop the performance instantly!
Bring down the asbestos curtain! This is Commissioner Weston! Bring down the asbestos curtain!
Under no circumstances is that asbestos curtain to be lowered.
Why not?
For reasons you will discover in a moment, Commissioner. Send some men to prevent anyone lowering that curtain. You value your lives and the lives of everyone present.
Do as he says, Shadow. Listen to the Shadow. Don't lower the curtain. Listen to him.
Cardona.
Yes, Commissioner.
Take some men immediately. Get backstage and guard the ropes that control the asbestos curtain.
Yes, sir. Come along, you. Get back there and see no one touches that curtain.
Now, Mr. Radcliffe.
Aye?
Yes, you. You look relieved. You didn't expect Commissioner Weston to order the asbestos curtain lowered, did you?
What do you mean?
You didn't want it lowered until you had a chance to escape out of the theater yourself.
Why should I want to leave the theater?
Because you know that if the curtain were lowered, it would operate a switch and explode the dynamite you planted in this box.
He lies! The Shadow himself planted the gunpowder in that box. He is the guilty one!
Very clever, Radcliffe. But how did you know there was gunpowder? I said there was dynamite. Radcliffe, you were the killer who has been terrorizing the Opera House.
That's a lie, a lie!
You were also one of the few who knew that the Shadow would be in Box 7. Radcliffe, you are guilty.
Yes, I did it. I did it. I lost my voice in this opera, and with it my chance to be the greatest to ever sing Pagliacci. But I swore then I would be the last, that nobody else would sing it. I would have been too, if it weren't for you. Curse you, Shadow!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last of the opera murders. The stone has sunk at last to the bottom of the pond, and the ripples are ended. The curse of this opera and the dangers attached to the performance have been removed. The people of this city may again enjoy the beauty of the music drama without fear of death.
You have been listening to a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine, now on sale at your
Always with the dynamite.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I would tell them there was dynamite in the box, too. What's in the box?
Yeah, exactly.
What's in the box? Well, looks like we've only got about, 6 minutes or so left in the show?
Yeah, about.
I was going to start another episode of The Shadow, but that put us at close to midnight 30, and I do have to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Those pesky day jobs.
Yeah. But I definitely enjoyed this. We do have that episode we can hold into the queue for Wednesday. As I can take a minute to talk real quickly about something that I read this week that we didn't get a chance to talk about this past weekend.
Shoot.
Well, DC apparently has had a series going on that was, I guess, their knockoff of Marvel Zombies called Deceased.
Deceased.
Yes, it's a pun almost as bad as yours.
I know. Jeez. Did I start writing for DC and no one told me?
You might be. Have you been sleeping longer and longer?
No.
Definitely not that one. But, no. So, I didn't catch the series as it was coming out. However, last week, when I was looking at comic books to pick up, I saw a copy of that, and I was like, that's an awful pun. I should read that. And I read it. It's a spin-off story called Deceased, A Good Day to Die. And it's actually pretty good. It takes place, it starts out, it doesn't give you a whole lot of backstory as to how everything happened. You assume it has something to do with Apocalypse because Apocalypse is dead. The entire planet Apocalypse is dead.
Oh, okay.
And something to do with the anti-life equation. But
right.
Essentially, you open up with Mr. Terrific, Mr. Miracle, and Big Barda. And they're running around trying to figure out how to reverse the virus or whatever, and they can't figure it out. So they come up with a plan. They're like, either we need magic or we need time travel. So they go to find John Constantine, and John Constantine's basically just like, go fuck yourself. And goes and,
As he does.
Yeah, and goes and has a drink because that's, it was very Shaun of the Dead of him. I'm just going to go have a drink and wait for this whole thing to blow over. So they go and find Ted Cord, Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold. But because of the zombies killing a bunch of heroes, Booster Gold ceases to exist in the middle of the encounter. And then John Constantine shows back up out of nowhere, and he's like, fuck, I have to be a goddamn hero. So, but it reminded me a lot of 52. Because 52 was the 52 issue series where that Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman all took the year off. And you got a lot of secondary mainline characters. And those stories were so good. And my wife was telling me, she was like, I remember the original series, and, I think I even told you about it. And I realized...
Yeah, I read some.
Yeah, I realized I probably wouldn't like the entire series. Or I probably wouldn't like this issue as much if I had read that entire series first. And it made me think about myself a lot as a comic book reader. Because while I do love a good, built-up story, I like writing that can just put you into a scenario and just be like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. Cool. What are we doing about it? But I am going to go back and read the entirety of Deceased and keep up with the ongoing. So it'd be something we look at comparing and contrasting Deceased and Marvel Zombies.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Just to see if DC's going for a cash cow off of everything that's actually sold well for Marvel, or if they're actually attempting to do something halfway interesting.
Be my assumption, but
yeah, I read that, and I read a bunch of just little side books. I read one of Brian Wood's Alien books, and it pretty much confirmed that he's basically an SJW. Very female-centric.
Is that the one that just got canceled?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I guess they usually are the
creepy
ones.
Yeah, it's a lot of projection with that group.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But it wasn't terrible. The book itself wasn't bad. It wasn't overarchingly political. It was just very female-centric. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
To be written by a man, It's not like a Wonder Woman book being written by a man. The main character is a dude, but every character he interacted with in the book directly was a female. There were dudes in the background, but every character he directly interacted with. Yeah. And I was just like, well, that's just weird writing. It's not like the gender of the character actually matters, but when it's so on the nose that you notice it like that.
Right. Does that mean it's like what they always say about the nerd culture, being afraid of strong women. In the original Alien movie,
Ripley
was a strong female. Yeah, it was a strong lead. She was awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
But she was also human, and actually, she wasn't a plank of wood like Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. And my wife watched that movie, and she said that it was okay for a popcorn action flick if it didn't have superhero trappings to it. Can't escape.
I thought it was. I thought it was boring.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you take the superhero trappings off of it, it's not. Oh my god, it's super effective. What?
It might be passable if you take the. I wouldn't necessarily say it's good, but it would be passable.
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I have no plans to. Movie never happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I think we should have had I don't know, maybe a Black fucking Widow movie.
Right.
Yeah, something that makes sense. That's getting off into a whole other tangent.
But yeah.
Anyway, I definitely appreciate everybody coming out, spending some time with us this evening, listening to the Shadow, watching me get through the rock gym. We will take a moment to mourn the death of Caterpillar Epstein. He is our first capture, or our first casualty of the Nuzlocke. However, we did have a replacement in waiting in Yas Queen female. So let's take a look at the party real quick. So, in order from strongest to weakest, we've got Putin Mander, Mike Obama.
Real quick, though.
Yeah.
Did Caterpillar asking really die, though?
No. He fainted, yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know that he committed suicide. It was definitely a murder.
Oh, okay.
But,
just checking.
He's in the box. We didn't revive him. We just put him in the box. We've got Putin Mander at level 15, Mike Obama at level 12, Mago Lane level 10, Smollett at level 10, Yas Queen female at level 9, and Mushy Cyrus at level 8. We're working on leveling them up. That's where we will leave off. We will pick back up on the next installment. So I'll have a poll up either tomorrow or early Wednesday morning. We'll figure out what we're doing for that show, what we're going to be listening to. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out. And like, subscribe, share, all of that noise. And great evening. We'll see you Wednesday. What now?
Good night, everybody.
You sounded perfect while the microphones were off all night, and now I can't hear a goddamn thing you're saying.
Because of course.
Right. So you want to try one more time?
No. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody.